couple times she left. Where is she? Turn the TV off.
Okay, we are live, Facebook Live, which means that is officially when we start at 7:01. Just want to wish you all a good Shabbos. I'm going to mute everyone right now just so that we don't get the feedback. And then Cantor, Ray, if you could, of course, unmute yourself. So first off, want to wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom, and let's just give everyone a wave so that we greet. Remember that greeting is the most important aspect of Shabbat, being able to extend a hello, extend a shalom, extend a Shabbat Shalom, give a big smile. This is, if you've had a week like mine, it was started off a little vacation-y, and then it came very quickly and back to the grind. And isn't it wonderful just to take a minute to take a breath, see some friends, have a meal, and really kind of sing together, bring words together, have some moments together. And so that's really what we do. If you have a Siddur with us, we're on page 16 in our Siddur. If you don't have a Siddur, that's fine. Join us. You know the tunes. So we will start with Shalom Aleichem. Cantor, are we starting with something else?
No, Ronnie's on Facebook, so I'm hearing you delayed. So we had to solve that first.
Well, it'll always be delayed, but it's in real time for somebody somewhere.
Somebody somewhere. It's also, never mind. Shabbat Shalom. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Malachei Hasharet. Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech. Malchei Hamlachim. HaKadosh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bochem l'Shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni l'Shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'Shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shakoach to you, Cantor Ray. We turn now to the Chadodi on page 38. There's a line in here. There's two things I just want to say. At the end, the last stanza, we turn to the door and we welcome in the Sabbath bride. We welcome in Shabbat as a gesture of welcoming, that we should always create a space in which people feel welcome. That is our goal. That is our challenge as human beings, to continue to always find new ways to welcome people. Also, Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, that keep and remember in one divine word. Words matter. Words have power. When I was a child, I had this project that I had to do, and my grandmother helped me with this project. And I remember I had to create a project that would tell the story of Martin Luther King. And I had to create a puppet, and I didn't know how to do that puppet, but my grandmother helped me knit. She did it all. I didn't do anything, but she made the puppet, and I had to give a report. I don't remember a word that I said in that report, and I don't remember much. But today marks the day in which Martin Luther King made his famous speech, "I Have a Dream." And the truth of the matter is that that's how powerful words truly are. Quite simply, if I say the word, "I have a dream," many of you will remember some of the speech. Maybe you had to memorize it in a class. Maybe you had to memorize it. Maybe you heard it firsthand. Many people today did not. In fact, the vast majority of people did not hear the speech. However, everybody knows those words, those 4 words, "I have a dream." And they all have a vision when those words are spoken. That's how powerful words are. And I am just floored that after 57 years, this happened in 1963, a speech that no one could have possibly known would have penetrated the hearts of not only an entire nation, but entire generations to come. May we continue to understand that that's how powerful words are, and that when we put words into the world, they can truly, truly make a difference. And it's not just leaders, it's not just people in positions that have the ability to speak in front of crowds. It's you as individuals. Make sure that we are meticulous in the words that we use so that we can create new worlds and new abilities for people to feel the power of dreams and the power of hope. We continue with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Amor v'zochor b'dibur echad, Ishmi Amadu el Echad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Bohi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, Gam b'simcha u'v'sachala, Toch emunei am segula, Bohi chala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
We turn now our attention to Ma'ariv Aravim and its final bracha.
El Chai v'kayam, Tamidim lo chaleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Ma'ariv Aravim. Amen.
With everlasting love, you have loved the house of Israel, teaching us your Torah, its mitzvot, laws, and judgment. Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Avta, Torah u'mitzvot, ukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, B'shachbeinu u'v'kumeinu, nasiach behukecha, v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. ki hem chayenu ve'orech yamenu uvahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech yamenu uvahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech yamenu uvahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech yamenu uvahem negei yomam v'layla ve'avatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim baruch ata Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Amen. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol levavcha, ubechol nafshecha, ubechol meotecha, ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi metzavecha, hayom alevavecha, ve'shinantam levanecha, ve'dibarta bam, Beshivtecha bebetecha uvelechtecha baderech ushachbecha uvekumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot beheinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha.
The Lord said to Moses, speak to the children of Israel and bid them to make fringes, the corners of their garments throughout their generation, putting upon the fringes each corner a thread of blue. When you look upon the fringes, you will be reminded of all the commandments of the Lord and obey them. You will not be led astray by the inclinations of your heart, or by the attraction of your eyes. Thus you will be reminded to fulfill all my commandments and be consecrated to your God. I'm the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I, the Lord, am your God.
Leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vehitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem. Amen.
We now get a chance to do a little Jewish dancing, so please rise as we sing Vishamru together, get our blood going a little bit. If we get in motion, that brings emotion, so this is the time in which we ought to get a little emotion into our Shabbat.
Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat ledorotam beritolam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat ledorotam beritolam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat ledorotam beritolam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat ledorotam beritolam.
Asher Koach to you, Cantor. We'll take this moment. Well, first off, I just want to, I sometimes call people out. Dave Simon got me giggling good with his movement. I don't think he stood up, but he was moving with his computer, and I just love it. I just love it. So Yasher Koach to you. So when we enter into the Ma'ariv Amida for the Sabbath, we take a moment for thoughts and prayers and considerations and a moment of silent meditation. And as Dave reminds us, it's always important to find not only humor, but a little bit of levity in a time in which we at times maybe are taking ourselves way too seriously. This is a moment for us to just take a moment and pray for our heart's desires. O Lord, guard my tongue from evil and my lips from speaking guile. Guard my heart from hatred and my mind from harmful thoughts. Help me to avoid shameful speech as well as shameful silence. May my words be messengers of your will, humble in spirit, helpful in purpose, seeking justice and pursuing peace. O Lord, guard my spirit from weakness and my soul from gloom or despair. Strengthen my worthy desires that I may serve you in joy every day. Thus may I reflect honor on your holy name in all that I say and do.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael v'chol et u'v'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
At this point, we offer prayers for those who are in need of healing spiritually, mentally, physically. If you could put the names of those who are in need of healing into our chat so that the community can see, just take a moment and we'll fill in those names so that the community can offer prayers for everyone that is in need. So we'll just take a moment and then we will come together for Mishaberach.
Mishaberach avotenu makor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu, makor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
May God send a speedy recovery for those in need, a refuah shlema, a refuah to nefesh, a refuah to guf, for all who are suffering and for all Israel and all humankind. And we all say, Amen. So Shabbat Shalom, just a few words of Torah as we enter into this Shabbat. Oftentimes, I am asked about the significance of Torah, and can you break down the Torah into a couple of sentences? What is the significance of the Torah for a person, for a family, for a community? What is the purpose of Torah? Is it something that we just come to read? Is it something that we just have come accustomed to learning how to understand some neat stories and then maybe learn a few ethical ways in which to navigate the world? And one of the things that I have come to understand Torah is being a way in which to navigate the world. How am I supposed to behave as a human being? What is my function as a person in this world? In other words, a blueprint in how I am to walk in this world. In fact, that is what Jewish law is called halacha, the way in which, the walk in which we enter into our daily lives, our yearly calendar, how it is that we live as people. And I am often reminded of this idea. Leah and I had the blessing of being able to take a few days off. We went out of town on Monday evening and Tuesday evening, and we made our way to Santa Barbara. And at that time, the weather was beautiful. And if you enjoy 70 and overcast, which I have come to love with all of the hot weather we've been having. And so we went for a walk. I believe it was Tuesday morning, and we were deep into our walk, just enjoying each other's company. And we passed by a young woman and her child, and we just passed by. We didn't think anything of it, in our own little world with our masks on and our sunglasses on, just making our way through the street. And then she called out to us and said, "Hey, can you help me for a moment? I can't find my way to this hotel. Do you know where such and such a hotel is?" And she pulled out her phone, and the map was confusing her. The map was not as clear as the instructions that she needed so that she could get to where she was trying to go. She had a young child in tow, and she was getting some groceries, presumably for the food for the day, and she was just overwhelmed. You could see the weight of the child and the weight of the groceries, and she couldn't figure out her next step. She needed help. And Leah, my wife, said something really, really profound. And I think the moment called for this question. And she asked, "Are you lost?" And the woman said, "Yes, I'm lost." And you could almost feel her trying so hard to hold back the tears. But how many of us find it so difficult to admit that we are lost and that we need help finding our way? Oftentimes our ego doesn't allow us to admit we're lost. We can say, "I can't read this map. I can't figure out. Can you show me where this is?" But to actually make the statement, "I don't know where I'm going. I'm lost." But unless the question was asked, she wouldn't have been able to even maybe identify that that's what is happening. And so I believe the Torah in some way is that call. Often you have heard me say that the Torah is really a response to a fundamental question. And I believe the Torah is a response to that question. Are you lost? Are you having a hard time trying to find in which way to go, to find your balance, to figure out where your hotel is, where your home is, where your base is, being bogged down with so many things, children, groceries, everything that life puts in our way, and the inability to just say one simple thing: "I am lost." Can you show me a way in which to go? Torah comes to answer that, and it will give you ways, not just about mitzvot, not just observing Shabbos, not just making sure you're putting on tefillin, not just making sure that you're figuring out that you say the Shema twice a day, but making sure that you find a way in which you can live, a center, a home. Torah is the response to that question. Are you lost? Yes, I am lost. And how can I find my way? I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom, and may we find ways in which to at least recognize where we are lost on a daily basis, and find ways in which to not only help ourselves not be lost, but one of the best ways to find our way is to help our brothers and sisters and friends along the way. Shabbat Shalom. We continue with Aleinu on page 118.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech, malchei hamelachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim be'osed haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mimha'al, u'shchinatu zo, begavei meromi, Eloheinu einod, Emet Malkeinu Efezulato, Kakatu Betorato, Viadata Hayom, Bahashevota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, Bashamayim Mimhal, Ve'al haaretz, V'itachah, Einod.
Sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory, as it is written in your Torah, the Lord shall reign forever and ever, and it has been foretold, the Lord shall be sovereign over all the earth, and on that day the Lord shall be one, and shall be acclaimed as one.
Kakatuv b'Toratecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam v'ed, v'nehemar b'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad.
May the memories in which we cherish and lovingly now recall inspire us to live, that we too may bequeath a heritage of precious memories to those we shall leave behind. In tribute to our departed, we enrich the lives we now touch. May we share and preserve the faith which our mourners will now affirm as they rise to sanctify God's name in the hollow words of the Kaddish. And this week we are saying yahrzeits for Elizabeth Altman, grandmother of Larry Burse; Nathan Brown, father of Rosalie Goldenberg; Arlene Wayne, aunt of Alan Bond; Jack Docks, father of Edward Docks; Celia Altman, aunt of Larry Burse; George Wald, father of Wayne Wald; Thurza Yvonne Grigsby, mother of Yvonne Madoff. The mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 124. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, Be'alma divra chirute ve'amlich malchute, B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'vchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabam vorach le'olam u'me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudashah b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Da'amiram bi'amav v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom ben romav. Huya asei shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May God, who makes harmony and peace in the universe, grant us harmony and peace here for us, for all Israel and all humankind. And let us all say, Amen. Want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom and a hearty Yasher Koach to you, Cantor Ray, for leading us this evening. We will do Kiddush together on page 90. And the most important part about Kiddush is about connection. We are connecting God to this very, very moment. When we lift our Kiddush cup up, we take it in our right hand, and sometimes you'll see people lift it up, but that is Kiddush comes from the word to meaning to connect, to bring together. And we are bringing together the holiness of the day into this particular moment, the moment in which we invite God. We invite God in so many ways, and hopefully we have a moment throughout our Shabbat and throughout the week to invite God. And just to conclude the story, in that moment that we met this young woman who was overwhelmed. It is about those connections. It is about reaching out. And Leah took the bag, and then we were able to walk her to the hotel. We finally found it, and then she entered in, and she was able to find her husband, and she was able to reconnect with her family. And that is the conclusion. But the idea here is really, really simple. It is up to each and every one of us to find our ways and how to support people in finding their way. My wife wanted to say something before we
I'm going to add something because it hit me now. We were so close to where she was supposed to be going that literally she was turned around. And sometimes we think we're so far from where we need to go, but because we're willing to ask for help, we realize how close we really are. And then God meets you halfway, and it's so easy. But the hardest part was her even saying, I need help. So that just taught me a big lesson. You're really only 3 feet from gold. You're so close to where you need to go, but sometimes you got to reach out and ask someone for help. So wanted to add that.
I better get her out of the screen before she takes my job. Jeez, I got lucky. Please rise as we honor the Sabbath by saying Kiddush. If you're following along, we are on page 90. If not, we just take the kos shel yain, the cup of wine in our right hand. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'avav ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lamikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu b'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shavat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'll unmute so we can all greet each other and wish each other a good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.